PS Vita, a much loved console by all 5 people who owned one. Among the games available, there was one called Gravity Rush, but wasn't too well known. A few years after its release, it got a remaster for the PS4, but never reached the acclaim of other PlayStation exclusives like Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War, or Uncharted. Despite that, it still managed to get a sequel, and it takes what is so great about the first game and improves upon them. Before I get into it, I wanted to explain what this video is. It isn't a review, at least not in the typical sense. I'm not the biggest fan of gaming reviews. They have become a replacement for the experience of games, but at the same time knowing what is in a game is also important. So hopefully I can fill you in with my not a review. I've tried to break down what the game is so people can make their own decision while keeping it spoiler light. So with that said, I hope you enjoy my not a review. The protagonist is Kat. No, not that Kat, but Kat. She has no memory of where she was born or how she got her powers. Despite that, she's a relatively happy-go-lucky person and is willing to help those in need, which occasionally gets her into strange situations, like taking pictures of pretty women for an old guy, or running away from crowds of people like she's Taylor Momsen. Flying in video games has been done a lot, and doing so with no limitations is boring. Gravity Rush's unique take on flying makes it stand out. Kat doesn't fly either, she falls with style, picking the direction you want to go and start falling in it. She can also pick up and hurl objects around, including people, giving her a ranged way to fight outside of her normal melee attacks. New to this game is shifting styles. Luna, that makes you more floaty and able to jump tall buildings, and Jupiter, that makes you more heavy and a juggernaut that smashes through anything that gets in her way. Upgrading Kat's powers can be done in two ways: using precious gems found all over the map to permanently upgrade her different abilities, and equipping talismans to improve different aspects of her abilities. At its core, the game is a superhero action game. Kat is there to save the day when disaster strikes, but there's so much content in the game, that's not the only thing she'll be doing. From delivering newspapers to racing pigeons to stopping world-ending cataclysms, she does it all. The game is broken up into chapters with very purposeful triggers to progress the story, which is fantastic for people who don't want to miss out on side content, which are abundant and have you doing all kinds of stuff for people. The writing of the side quests is fantastic and Kat's personality really shows through. There is also NPCs scattered around the map, often with pieces of information that will give you a better understanding of what's going on in the world as the story progresses. Throughout the city you'll find challenges. There are standard things like time trials, and then there's more unique things like getting a crowd of people to chase you without being caught by them. They are short, fun, and give you plenty of precious gems to upgrade Kat's abilities with. There is also mining areas. There are three kinds: mining areas for precious gems with a small chance of talismans, boss areas with no precious gems but guarantee a talisman, and a dungeon crawl, which gets harder and harder with each level, but the precious gems and talisman drop rates are much higher at the cost of losing half of them on death. As of 2018, the online services of the game have been shut down, so some cosmetics, unique talismans, treasure hunting hips and leaderboards are unavailable. While it is a shame to miss out on these experiences, the game is still very much playable. A short while after the events of the first game, Kat, Sid and Raven are investigating a gravitational anomaly when they are attacked, causing them to be sucked into said anomaly. Stranded in a distant land with no way home, Kat must work to eat because a lazy worker is a hungry worker. Kat's journey as she tries to get home will take her through several locations, each with its own feel and social structure. While you can get a feel for them passing through, it is through the dialogue and the side quests that you truly get a feel for them. If you haven't played the first game, you may ask yourself, who the hell is this at times? And the game won't always address it, so the first game will help you understand who they are but the overall story of the second game should be understood without it. From the landscapes to the music and even the dialogue screens, the game is gorgeous. The landscapes? Skyscapes? Whatever. Look and sound fantastic, with each area feeling unique and fun to travel. I find myself wanting to traverse the city rather than fast travelling through it. Every time the dialogue screen comes up, it feels like you're reading a comic, with each button press making a page-turning noise that comes from the controller. It is a small piece of immersion that makes great use of what the PlayStation controller has to offer. Gravity Rush 2 is a fantastic game with a different take on the superhero genre. Not only is Kat a happy-go-lucky person, but the game's take on flying is different from so many other games. I highly recommend playing the side content, since there's so much variety in the content, the writing is fun, and they're largely rewarding, so the time spent doing them isn't a slog. I hope you enjoyed my Notta review. If you do feel compelled to get the game and play it, tell me about it.